So one of my favorite things to draw in portraits is the hair. Today we're going to practice drawing hair that is slightly curled or wavy and a medium length. The reason we're doing this is I find it's more challenging than drawing straight hair, and if you can draw long curly hair, you'll easily be able to adapt that to the hair of your choosing. I chose a medium valued hair, that way you can easily make things darker or lighter depending on the image you choose. So you can see I'm not going to complete all of this segment of hair for you. I started off in a previous class. The in-person 7th and 8th graders are learning how to draw hair, and so here is my example. So what I would recommend doing is start off with contour line drawing. Remember, contour line drawing, kind of like an empty coloring book drawing. So you can see my general shape of the hair may not be 100% accurate. I'm just going based off of where some general curls fall. So that is my step one. Let's see if that helps with things. Maybe I'll turn that light off. There we go. So if we only draw hair and hair strokes, it's going to look like she's a bit bald. Okay? Real hair, your hair, is built up on layers. We have hundreds of thousands of hairs on our head. So to create that illusion that it's thick and has some volume, we're going to first create some value underneath. So you need to always start from the top of your head, because that's where hair comes from. If you start scribbling in hair here, it's not going to look realistic. So I start from the top of the head. I'm going to work my way down. I'm following the curves of that hair. Okay? We apply the pencil strokes, the graphite, in the same direction that the hair falls. It's important because you can always see through some of your layers, and if you just scribble it in, those strokes are not going to look realistic. So I'm creating a base layer. If you were doing blonde hair, you might do this a little lighter, and if you were doing black hair or darker valued hair, you would just create it a little bit darker. So I have a base layer of value, and I'm going to use this blending stump. You can use a cotton swab or a tortillon. You can use paper towel as well. You could use your finger, but I caution against that only because our fingers have natural oils, and whenever you go and smear, sometimes the oils of your fingers make it nearly impossible to blend over areas. Okay, so I'm going to just blend my pencil strokes. That's my base layer. So now when I add more hair strokes, it's not going to look like she's bald. So at the top of the hair, top of her head, I'm going to start layering in nice thin lines. You want to have a nice sharp pencil for this so the hair doesn't look like yarn. I just work this. This, like I said, is one of my favorite things to draw. After a while, you kind of get into the zone. Always refer back. It's okay if it varies slightly from the image, but you still want it to look like the general shape. So I can see there's areas here where it's a little bit darker. So I'm just going to draw that spot in. Okay. And hair grows, although it's a single strand, it's kind of chunked together. So you can see where highlights fall, where maybe darker areas fall. So I'm just going to work my way around. So that's with a darker pencil. Mechanical pencil is also really great for this because it's nice and sharp. And you just work your way down to the bottom. I'm going to keep working on this and blending as I go. If hair is looking too dark, you can always erase highlights. You want to use a nice sharp eraser. So that's an easy way to erase highlights. If you're using an image that has blonde hair, that might work perfect for you. So hair is obviously going to take a while, but it's going to be well worth it. It's going to be very obvious if you rush through drawing hair or if you're taking your time and following along with the image. You can see you're always going to start from the top. If you've chosen an image with short hair, let me show you a reference image. I'll have several image options for you guys posted in my PowerPoint. The in-person learners, most of them drew Will Smith. I will say his hair is definitely not the most challenging. I'm going to show you real quick one other technique, because if you're working with hair that's short or straight or long and curly, you're going to use this technique. But with hair like Will Smith, I would scumble. And scumbling, so you'd still put a nice base layer and follow the curves of his head. Put a nice base layer in. And if I'm doing super curly short hair, you want to blend with a curve. And then I'm going to scumble. And scumble means I'm overlaying with nice tight circles. Right, so I would just use that technique for his hair. You need to finish the entire set of hair. I just wanted to show you a small sample before you got started. It's not too complex. Biggest tips I have is laying some hair down first, then blending those strokes, and then starting the addition of dark long strands and erasing highlights. I look forward to seeing what you create.